Welcome to Texas Today. I'm Kristen Dickerson. Dolly Python is where people go to find vintage clothing, boots, stacks of hats, and many other one-of-a-kind finds. Gretchen Bell is the owner of Dolly Python. It is so lovely to spend time with you.
Yeah, thank you for coming by.
And I'm especially honored that I get to wear your clothes today, including what I think is the most beautiful squash blossom I have ever seen.
Well, you look great. I love what you picked out.
Will you tell us about your store?
Well, I've opened here 19 years ago, which is kind of unbelievable to me. It's flown by.
Yeah.
But we specialize in vintage clothing, jewelry, cowboy boots, antiques, vintage, just anything that's nostalgia from the past century.
Yeah.
Up till now, we do sell some current things. But yeah, we just kind of run the gamut, you know.
So 19 years, how did you get started? Have you always loved this?
Well, I collected beforehand, and I worked at different vintage clothing stores in high school, and I've always been kind of interested in it. So I, kind of like everybody that opens a store, I had too much. I just went over the limit. So, and I knew for some reason I was always going to open a store, so I did.
Can we talk about the awards that your store has earned?
Yes, yeah, we've been really fortunate to be so well received, and it amazes me every year that, you know, people make it and they love it, but, you know, it's nice to get awards and things like that. So.
Including Vogue magazine naming you one of the best vintage stores.
Yeah, that was a full circle moment for me. So, yeah, I was pretty much, that kind of knocked the wind out of me. That was really special.
Will you give us a verbal tour of the store? As soon as I walked in, I noticed some really great looking t-shirts.
Yeah, when you walk in, it's the clothing section. And we specialize, you know, in men's and women's vintage clothing up to Y2K. Y2K would be like 2010, maybe 15. As you can see, we have cowboy hats, we have cowboy boots, just kind of runs the gamut.
I was a huge fan of the dress section, and if I ever dress up again, I will come here because you have lots of sparkles and a lot of fun things.
Oh yeah, if it's kitschy and if it just kind of stands out, then we try to sell it.
And tell me more about that. So if I have vintage items at home that I would like to re-offer, that's an option.
Yeah, so I purchase from the public anything like from, I buy men's and women's clothing, I buy jeans, I buy t-shirts, I buy grandma's sequin sweater, you know. People are welcome to send us pictures, and we kind of like to say, well, I'd like to see more of that, and you know, things like that. So that represent the decades, that are trending with the decades. So.
Including jewelry. It's so fun to look at vintage jewelry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
So I love when somebody brings in a jewelry box that was like their aunts or their grandmas, and you know, I love that. So I love to go through all of that and kind of piece all that together.
And you have a second section.
Yeah.
And explain how that works with the antiques.
Okay, so we have clothing on this side, and then on the other side is kind of like an antique mall. So I have vendors that have been here, some of them as long as I've been here, and they lease out, I guess you'd call them stalls or spaces, and they sell whatnots and antiques and vintage items, and each booth has its own, you can tell everybody's individual eye. So, and everybody just brings something a little bit different because no two things are alike.
Our team also has their own individual eye, and we picked out some of our favorite items. Our photographer, Jody, really liked a guitar back there, which is beautiful.
It's a really cool guitar. I didn't see it till today. They must have just brought it in, so it probably won't be here very long.
Our executive producer, Jessica, behind that camera, she fell in love with a framed bat.
We sell a lot of bad taxidermy, so we are a home for bad taxidermy.
Oh,
so unusual, you know, it would try to be ethically sourced, and a lot of it is vintage, so
wow.
We do that. Yeah.
Halloween is right around the corner. This is a great spot.
Yes, yeah, we have a lot of people that come in that are doing the 70s, they're doing Mad Men, they're doing 80s parties. It just runs the gamut.
Can we brag about your team here?
Yes.
Because there's a lot in
gosh.
the store, and they seem to know where everything is and just so incredibly helpful.
I am really fortunate. I've had not so good teams, but this time around I have a really good team of people. And that's kind of what it takes, you know, because I run 2 different stores and then I have a 7-year-old. So I'm busy.
Yes.
So, and they make my life so much easier, and I'm so grateful for them.
Will you tell us about the second location?
Yeah, absolutely. I opened a second location about 5 years ago in the Bishop Arts area in Oak Cliff. And it's not a destination like this store. It's more walk by. We cross promote. So have you been to our bigger location? It's 15 minutes away. If you can't find it here, you might be able to find it over there. So it works really, really well.
It has been delightful shopping your store and spending time with you today. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it.
To learn more about Dolly Python, and specifically both locations and their hours, because they're open every day, go to their website, dollypythonvintage.com.